Hey, what's up? So if I was to give this movie out of 5, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I had a great time with this movie, man. It's classic. I don't remember the last time I had such a great time with a vampire movie. Was that Rainfield? No, Rainfield, I thought it was too much CGI, too much superhero-ish. I thought Abigail was like trying to subvert using different dynamics of what we know about vampires and trying to twist it around. But this one felt more, it felt more supernatural. It felt more like what you'll get if you took Goosebump and blended it with it. The tone of it plus the tone of Goosebump and bring them together. I think this is what you'll get. So Salem's Lot is a Max original movie, and it's one of those movies that I wasn't like looking forward to this. I did not know it was happening. I did not know that actually it comes from Stephen King. I did not know the director of the movie worked on it as a writer. I don't know all those things when I went in. Actually, the only reason that I went in is because I was scrolling and then I saw a vampire movie. It's been a while. Let me just put it on, see what they have. And I found myself hooked like for the next 2 hours. It actually got me. It actually got me entertained. It got me engaged for 2 hours. And it explored vampires in a way that I haven't seen them explore vampires. Like, you remember the old school days when you'd see the concept of vampires was much more large scale. Not like the whole country. It would be just like a town, and it's just invested by vampires, and a group of people have to try to survive these vampires. And so you get all these cool action set pieces, or you get this cool depiction or characterization of vampires. We get a lot of that in this particular movie. So the story is pretty basic. In fact, if you've seen Meet the Black 2, there's an element of that we get in this movie. The idea of you have a small town and then a mysterious person moves in to the mysterious house up on the hill. And that mysterious person, of course, is like this big bad vampire. And so because he's there, obviously everyone else is going to be infected, everyone else is going to be bitten, and they're all going to turn into vampires. And now it's going to be that creepy town when the sun sets. When the sun sets. Now, but the story, it's not just following that guy up on the hill. It's following this character. It's called Ben. It's called Ben. Comes back to town. He used to live there, and then he went on, lived somewhere else, and now he's coming because was he writing something or was he researching? He was doing something. He needed to either do research for a book or something. So he moved back into town. And then when he moved back in, that's where now this particular event now happens with the new person up the hill, and now the whole town being taken over by vampires. So I thought that was pretty cool. But generally, why I think this movie would work for you if you like just entertaining horror movies, because this is supernatural. They explore vampires in a much more supernatural ways, be it how they react to crosses. There's a very interesting way that the cross is used, which is like old school, because these days, man, it has to be a cross from a particular person or a specific cross from somewhere else in a particular situation. The good old wooden cross cannot do it for a vampire, but in this one, we get that. We get like that classic take on how impactful a cross can be. You just have to have anything crossed, as long as it's tied well together and it looks like a cross, it has effect on the vampires. The vampires have eyes that actually lit. They're like animals, their eyes can actually glow. That I thought that was pretty cool. The way they move, there's that idea of how high they can jump, where they can walk. Those small things, man. I actually miss those small things about the classic vampire movies. And then there's now what I actually really loved about this particular movie. It's the way it looks like. It happens in the 70s, but then it's shot like a modern, it makes the 70s look modern. Like we are living in the 70s right now. It puts the characters, it puts us in the position of the characters, so it feels like we are actually in the 70s, because it makes the world feel like it's today, but it's still the 70s. It's glossy, it looks good, but the cars are old. The cars are old school cars, but they're not old. They're new cars in the old school, like it would be in the 70s. I don't know if you understand me. And then basically the cinematography is, there are very good camera work and transitions that I was like, wow, I love this. I'm liking what the directors are doing. I'm liking the idea that they're trying to put us maybe in the perspective of either something happening to the vampire or something happening in a scene. They use the transition to actually just elevate the terror or elevate the tension that is happening within a particular scene. The jump scares are there and they're pretty awesome. They're very well timed and actually effective in actually shaking you a bit. And yeah, generally the idea that from the beginning to the end, I was actually hooked and invested. I was actually entertained from the beginning to the end, not thinking about the character arcs or where Mark is this black kid who kind of knows exactly what to do, when to do, and how to deal with vampires, how he came to that knowledge, or going into depth about all these characters. We don't really spend a lot of time with that. Maybe we get a glimpse of what happened to Ben's parent, but we don't really focus on the nuances of these characters or the events. It's much more of just dealing with these vampires. And I thought I just had a great time. And I think that's what matters, the entertainment factor when it comes to horror movies. So yeah, this is a movie that I would highly recommend if you're looking for something spooky and something that actually scares you. There's an element of supernaturalism in this movie that I thought was pretty cool. The way they treat the vampires, it's terrifying in a way. You just don't open a window or look through a window and you just see eyes glow. That would be creepy. Or you see a body just wake up and you can actually kind of see the form within and the paleness of the skin. Ah, man. Yeah, but it's awesome. I actually really like it. The performances were okay. I didn't think about the performances. Why? Because of where the story was going, how some characters were put in positions whereby they were making you feel uncomfortable. And it's very rare for movies to do that anymore, whereby you don't actually pay attention to the characters. You pay attention to the characters based on the situation that they've been put in. And you have one great scene with cars outside during the day and they're vampires, but there's something that they do with something like a theater. There's something interesting that they do with that particular scene, and I was like, yes, this is it. I am loving this, man. So give this movie a chance. For me, it's a 4. It's a solid 4. If you're just looking to have a great time with a horror movie, it's Halloween in the States. If you're just looking for just a good time with a vampire movie, this is it. So basically that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think, because it's already on Max. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the horror? Did you enjoy how the vampires actually move? Did you enjoy the camera work? Because oh my gosh, this movie has some really, really interesting transitions. It has some really, really good camera works, man. And the cinematographers, they're not doing okay, there are a lot of scenes that they're doing what you're used to, but they're just scenes that pop up that surprise you. There's a scene with the matchbox. Let me just put it that way. Man, they do something so interesting with the camera work. So basically, let me know what you think about the movie if you've seen it. Did you have a good time with it? What did you expect? Because most definitely, if I was to watch this in the cinemas, I would complain because it's cliche. It feels generic. It's your classic vampire movie. It follows tropes that we are used to from older vampire movies. It follows a particular formula that is very, very familiar. But just in terms of entertainment, yeah, it fits very well on streaming rather than on the big screen. So basically that's it. As I said, what did you think about the movie? Let me know. And adios.